Captain Price cosplayer. I've done a lot of off-roading, a lot of camping, a little bit of paintball, a lot of airsoft, a lot of reenacting. And you always have a cooler with you for keeping your drinks cold and keeping any food preserved, like if you meat, if you be cooking. And you always have to buy ice to keep it cold. And if you're camping or reenacting for a long period of time, you have to drive into town to buy more ice to come on back just to keep your food cold. And you're driving out and you're spending gas money and you're buying ice, which costs money, just to keep your food cold for, you know, a couple days. So there's an expense in that. And then there's a hassle because you have to leave the campsite and you have to come back. And then if you're off-roading and you're driving on the trail and you got your cooler in the back, the ice and the water is sloshing around and it might pop the lid open and make a mess, or at least the noise is annoying because it's sloshing back and forth, or it can leak out and get all over the inside of your truck or your car. And if you're packing meat for burgers or steak or whatever, or chicken, and you package it really well in the Ziploc bag, it might still leak out and then get all in the water and get your drinks all messy. And just overall an unpleasant experience. And a few years ago, portable fridges started coming out. So you can put a fridge in your truck. But that drains the battery. Then the company started making portable batteries that you can put between your vehicle system and then your portable refrigerator. And then there's solar systems with solar power generators and the solar panel, and you can power your system off solar. And then there's like entry-level fridges that started coming out. So that's when I bought my first fridge. Bought this one on Amazon for about $400, which is a little bit more reasonable. I bought it in 2020 or 2021, and it lasted about 4 years until it rained. And unfortunately, I opened the back glass and the water dripped on in, and it got the system wet and this thing fried. But it did last me 4 years, which is pretty surprising. And I've basically just kept it in my truck, so even if I go buy groceries, I throw the groceries in here. So if I'm buying dairy, if I'm buying cheese or milk and eggs, I'm putting it right in my fridge, and then I don't have to worry about packing that immediately out into work or home or whatever. So this is life-changing in a really positive way. And I've got this plugged in my solar system. This one pulled 35 watts on economy and 55 watts on main, and that worked great, but it fried and I need a replacement, and they don't make these anymore. But I got a good one from BougeRV. So let's open that up and check this one out. This 12-volt cord is pretty long. I like this. I'm going to be able to plug this in the back of my truck and wiggle it around the seats and under the carpet over to my solar system. Then here's the AC wall adapter. For a size comparison, my old fridge is about 24 inches. The new one's about 22, 14 to about 12 and a half, and then 15 inches tall. It's about 15 inches tall, so this is going to fit really nice. And the handles are recessed, makes this really easy to carry as opposed to the other one where the handles are supposed to connect on the outside. hold for 3 seconds. Switch to max to eco. Ooh, compressor's already running. That's great. Let's switch the temperature control. 32 degrees to freezing. Let's do 36. Switch for the battery protection mode. So if you're running off of your vehicle, the battery protection mode is very important because it won't drain your battery entirely. But since I'm running off of a solar unit, I don't have to do that. I can just completely drain the solar unit. Now here's a great feature. It shows you the voltage of your system. So we're operating on a 12 volt system, and about 13.8 volts is like optimal. It really shows your health of how much power you have left in either your car battery or your portable battery bank or solar system. So the fridge right now is 36 degrees, nice and cold, and we're at like peak operating voltage. This extra little USB port is awesome because I record a lot of videos out of the back of my truck to make TikToks. So we'll just plug in here, and then I can charge my phone off of this. I do like how the display and the controls are part of the refrigerator and the lid is separate, because now I can open the lid and I still have my phone charging, so it's not going to move and hit anything else. Here's my old fridge that worked pretty well for a few years until I opened up the back glass and the water dripped on the panel, and then the panel got flooded and shorted the whole thing out. So this thing is dead. One of my complaints was the handle is mechanical and that broke. It was plastic, so then the lid kind of doesn't close anymore, which on the new fridge from BougeRV, it's magnetic, so it automatically seals. So that's a great feature on that. And this fridge had a little light on it, which is great when you're camping and you're outdoors, so it illuminates, you know, what you have. But if you're mostly car camping, it's not that big of a deal. You don't have your refrigerator outside the campsite. Maybe they're going to put an LED on the lid on future models. That would be a really cool feature. But if you're into camping, you have a flashlight usually anyway. But one of my issues with this was the handles were external, so I never installed them because it was too big and it wouldn't fit in the back of my truck. So these are the handles, and they're kind of flimsy, and they would obviously go on the little sides there, and it sticks out like 2 inches. So I just never had the space to put those on, which in the BougeRV refrigerator, the handles are built into the side, which is really nice. So I can actually pick up that fridge when it's loaded with drinks and food, as opposed to this one with the screws will probably rip out of the sheet metal. This right here, this voltage readout, has to be my favorite feature of the refrigerator so far, because other refrigerators don't have this, and this basically tells you the health of either your car battery or your solar system. So right now at 13.8 volts, that's like peak voltage for a 12 volt system. So everything is running really nice right now, and the refrigerator's at 36 degrees. So I can just glance at the refrigerator in the back of my window of my truck and be like, oh yeah, the fridge is operating, the voltage is good, my solar system's operating, everything's fully charged, and I am good for days. I now plug this into the wall outlet, and we're reading 14.6 volts. So the wall AC adapter is putting a little bit higher voltage than the DC plug. Here on TikTok, click on my profile, slide over to showcase, then check out this fridge.